Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Usayo Sale, and today I'm joined by my amazing co-anchors. Why you guys be making me?
It wasn't me.
Elsie Godwin.
Hi,
lovely,
darling.
very
How you
cooperative.
doing? Yes, so let's not anger our daddy.
How are you doing, Elsie Godwin?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
You look lovely.
Thank you. With your, is this pink? You know you have
It's
a special.
peach. This is peach.
Yes, it's not burgundy
today.
today. Okay.
Peachy.
Welcome.
How are you? Isi Bakume Affordable.
Stop murdering my name.
Can you pronounce?
I'm an Edo girl.
Vahome.
Vahome.
Did I tell you when we had the MD of Nigeria Railway Corporation? He's an Edo man. You see, I murdered his name. I was wishing you were here.
Ohiria.
Ohiria.
What did you call him?
An Igbo girl was teaching me, a Bini girl, how to pronounce an Edo name.
It's okay. You can be forgiven.
So he said he's going to
grew up
ship
in the
me.
north.
He's going to ship me to Edo State for 1 month, and I must make sure I learn.
It won't make any difference.
But how have you been? How's the week been for you?
It has been hectic, but I'm glad
Are you on
that it's
holidays
almost
now?
over. No, I'm actually having a coaching session with a few people, so it's been kind of hectic for
I'm
me.
making money.
I'm trying.
She always tries to avoid that part. She makes it look like it's just work.
We know.
It's the work of the
I
Lord.
mean, I think I missed you on set yesterday for the education conversation. So you'd have told them how you discipline them in school.
Jesus, I don't want
Do
to
you have a
expose
no cane
myself.
policy there?
In some of the schools,
yeah.
in some of the schools I handle, yes, and one. I think it's just one that actually, allows us to touch the children, but it's not to actually, beat the kids. But who said discipline is not good for children?
So you spank when necessary.
Every now and then, you spare the rod, you spoil the child.
Okay. So, what are we discussing?
Osaiwame, don't set me up because I know you will
We're
not
discussing emotional intelligence.
with me in.
We're discussing emotional intelligence.
Yes, absolutely.
Guess what we found yesterday's quote? We cannot tell what may happen to us in the strange medley of life, but we can decide what happens to us, how we can take it, and what we do with it. And that is what really counts in the end. This is from Joseph Fort Newton. That's our quote for today. Honestly speaking, there are so many things you can control, but I always say that I can always control me and how I respond to situations. And I think that's what emotional intelligence is. What do you think?
Yeah, spot on.
There are things we can control. I totally agree, and there are things we cannot control. There was a saying we had back then that says, "God save me from what I can't control," and something like that. My dad used to have it, and it's what you cannot change. You just leave it like that. You don't stress yourself over it, and that's part of what.
Focus on what is within your powers
within
to
you,
control.
what you can actually do.
Absolutely. So emotional intelligence has been defined as the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions, right? In positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict. Why is emotional intelligence a requirement for growth? That's our conversation tonight. And we have Lanre Olushola, the catalyst himself, is here to talk to us on this. But first, we'll take a break to see what we found in the news. You're still watching Ways. Now, Never Give Up Day is all about cultivating a mindset of determination, which helps us to get through all the difficult challenges that life throws our way. It is also about motivating and inspiring ourselves and others, as well as remembering people that have never given up on those things that they plan to do or whatever it is. So we should use this day not only to applaud people for reaching their goals, but also to support those who are still trying to achieve their goals and have not quit their journey to get there. So that's, I mean, this is an important day. I actually saw 2 holidays, but I thought because we're talking emotional intelligence today, this is a very important, what's it called, mindset to have, you know.
Exactly.
You know, just continue to encourage people. Why are you looking at me in a sheepish way, Elsie?
For real.
It's social media that is stressing my life. Do you remember there's a meme that goes around? I think it's a meme. I think it's a tweet where somebody said they wrote something nice and you think they're going to say something nice. Say, please, if you want to give up, give up. Buhari is our president. So that's what I was playing in my head.
I watched okay, it was Hush Baby this morning. He's in London, so he did a video. I laughed my tummy out. He now said, you know, I just want to give him motivational. I thought he was going somewhere. You know, say I was not giving up.
Serious.
He said, I beg, if you want to give up, give up. I said, like,
give up.
at some point, you know, because you know when you have tried.
No,
Those things on social media affect me. Like when I'm in a serious meeting and you say something, I'm already thinking of something else. I'm just looking at it like, okay, if I bring it in, you will understand.
On
so
a serious
it's right.
note, it is important that we do not give up. Because
always have hope.
We need to keep going, keep pushing, because sometimes you might be close to the gemstone. Maybe you're looking for something or you're trying to dig out something from the ground and you're close to the gemstone. There is a meme on that as well. Not aspire to perspire, require the perspiring. The key thing is this: life is dogged.
You see, we agree. We have not given up.
Life is
I haven't given up on life.
Please don't give up. We cannot give up.
I'm serious about this.
We're serious now. We're just joking. Hey.
You know, the thing about me is, honestly, I have been through a lot in my life, but I have never ever, you know, that's why when I hear people talk about maybe being suicidal and all of that, I can't relate, because yes, I've been through challenges that really got me broken down, but I'm very grateful for the fact that I have not lost hope, and which is what many people do not have. That capacity to be able to say, you know what, I'll rise above this.
Exactly.
Not many people do have it. So when you are blessed with that and you have people around you, the only thing to do is just to encourage them.
But when it comes to mental health and suicidal case, it's a medical condition as well, and it's not like they can help themselves. So
sometimes,
even when they have everything, you've seen people that have everything going on for them, and they still get depressed and they have those kind of thoughts. So it's not really exactly about what you go through or what you don't go through. It just happens, which is why their case, even those that work in the field will tell you we can't completely understand it, but you just have to be sensitive enough to know that people are wired in different ways. A lot of chemicals are going through everybody's head at the same time, and just be grateful and be kind. That's just it.
If you remember what we the encounter we had during the yoga session we had with Art of Living, they said something about this too shall pass. Everything we go through in life, whether be good or bad, it will definitely come to pass. So just have to keep
so
pushing.
who is starting with? Let's start with Elsie, because we have some kind of financial matters for us. What did you find for us in the news?
So I was scrolling my Twitter,
Tweenie.
I was
No, it's
there.
not legal. You can't be sued now. Don't worry.
So I saw that people were angry, like really angry. I know we are always angry on Twitter. I started looking, what is the source of this anger? And I saw that CBN has done it again. So CBN secures other freezing Rice vs Bamboo accounts over illegal FX transactions. Now, they secured this from the Federal High Court, obviously, 180 days, and people are really upset. And alongside this story, I mean, I just left at this headline, but alongside it, there's also a bill, I think it's called NIITD, where some parts of it leaks, and the clauses are not favorable for people that are running fintech businesses, and the uproar is just there. People are wondering, why is it that the government is doing everything to frustrate the efforts of these people? But what the government is saying is that they are trading illegal FX. You know what they've done with FX and banning it with the BDC. But then they don't want the free market where people can be able to just access things and be able to change dollars the way they want. So it's a tricky one. It's in court and everybody's saying, oh, go back to court and try to fight this. But I don't understand why it is 180 days ban. They're saying that cap is too high. But they're also saying, I mean, it's tied to an investigation. So there might be reasons for the judge to give that. But you know, Twitter and investigation, they went to bring back the case of 2010, 2020, NSAS now, the accounts that were frozen. The judge who gave that order then of the 90 days freezing of the account, it's the same judge who is doing this now. And then when that happened, some people actually wrote to the NUJ to caution him for what he did, because it was not around the bounds of the legalities. And according to stories, I mean, that's in the news that they wrote, but they're saying he kind of begged and said that won't happen again or something. But now this is happening again. You know,
times the date, because it's 180 days.
So from all indications, this is really going to affect. Although Rice Vest and Co have come out to say, oh, nothing is going to happen to your money is intact. But trust me, I know few people, I mean, in my own circle, that have try to withdraw their money.
And they can't withdraw?
No, it hasn't said they can't. It's saying it's under process. So maybe in the next 48 hours, we will know if they will get their money or not. But it's really sad. And of course, some other people are using this opportunity to bring back our conversation last 2 weeks, Nigeria Startup Bill, to say this is the time for them all to actually sit together and ensure that everything they need is put into this bill and it is passed appropriately. So we'll keep following it, but it is very discouraging.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so let me hear you, EC.
Okay, my story. I've not seen a country that disregards senior citizens like Nigeria, because we do not know how to treat our pensioners. And we have seen time and time again where the pensioners are crying for their allowances to be paid, or they have not been paid for a period of time. Sometimes their gratuity before they die, they don't even get to collect it. I know of someone who has gone through this problem. So federal government has moves to declare a day of senior citizens. Now, I like the fact that they're drinking water. So are we being realistic? Are we being realistic? Are we actually going to do this? Because we have, should I say, the federal government of Nigeria generally have not been fair to the senior citizens.
How exactly is this day declaration going to help the situation on ground?
Two things. Let me tell you two things. First of all, a lot of our leaders, they are all senior citizens. So they need to make sure that that part is properly prepared for them.
But they're not. They're not.
It doesn't make any difference.
No, wait now.
It doesn't make any difference.
No, wait now. But,
yes, go ahead.
But second thing I want to say is that, where do you think they should start from? Let's just trust them, right?
Trust?
Yes.
Trust is a
Because
big word.
if we keep on dealing with a lot of distrust, okay, that's what we have done all these years. Where did it land us? So let's just trust that maybe this is actually a good move in the right direction. Because again, everybody has motives for what they do.
Absolutely, that was where I was going to.
Because most of them are all senior citizens. So if they prepare it, maybe they're just doing it. It might be for themselves, but at the end of the day, let's hope it will benefit the entire senior citizens that we have in the country.
There's a post I saw, but take your story.
Yeah.
Maybe by the time you're done, I'll find it. It's
So
very
my story is
interesting.
actually very encouraging. I thought to share this because a lot of times we always, there's a stereotype when it comes to the kind of jobs and all of that we play. So I found this story quite interesting and I wanted to share.
Okay.
So why I resigned my bank job for bread hawking as he's an HND holder, the guy. A Polytechnic graduate in Kaduna State, Ali Dahiru, who resigned his job with a set bank and took to selling bread, says his decision has turned out to be a blessing. So summary is he had someone that was supplying bread to their bank and he approached the guy and said he really wanted to know because he said he had seen his turnover, what the guy was bringing in, and he wanted to, sell. And the guy told him, you can graduate. How will it look like? You're a graduate selling bread. And I said, just show me the ropes. So this guy eventually told him what to do. Of course, he started, and he said on bad days where his vendors or some, they do not pay him the money, like they don't remit, he saves nothing less than 3,000 per day.
Wow.
But on good days, he saves about 5,000 naira per day. So if we save 5,000 naira per day times, let's just say 30 days, this is 150,000. And this person was earning, I think about 35,000 naira. Do you understand? So the reason I'm bringing out this story is that sometimes we trivialize handy jobs in this country.
Oh.
And that is where the money is. If these people only know how to save what they earn. Do you understand?
Yeah.
We trivialize it. We think that, it is only when you're wearing a white collar. And that is a programming that's eating deep. Because I know how many times, even my own parents will say, that work good, but maybe we go look for work for, oil company and all of that. Sometimes, imagine if this guy is consistent, steady. It means that if he takes out 50K from his expenses, 100,000 saving it over a year, that's about 1.2 million naira. Just like that. So if we start to preach that it's not everybody that needs to walk with a tie around your neck and all of that, and start to put respect to some of these handymen, the plumbers, all of those people,
the gate man,
things will change.
Everybody, look,
things will change.
Blue collar job is the next thing.
I've talked about it. I'm tired of talking about it. So I'm glad that you two are
blue collar job
gingered.
is the next thing.
Yeah.
Gone are those days that it's all about the white collar job. The white collar job
My
doesn't
nail technician
pay.
is,
It
these nails.
pay.
I did these nails myself.
Everybody needs
My
to
nail
get a skill set.
My nail technician actually charges 17K now to fix nails. These nails, if I tell you how much, I'll have to say behind the cameras. But I'm saying I have to do my nails myself because it's too expensive. But guess what? That guy has nothing less than 5 to 10 clients every single day. So multiply 17,000 times 10 clients, 107,000 every day. His overhead cannot be up to 7K.
Again, don't go and leave your work because of now. You and these prices, calm down. Don't go and leave your job to go and start opening shop, because those people too.
You see?
This government is also frustrating them.
But we need to take a break. We've run out of time.
I saw the tweet. Sorry, let me quickly take it. Not a tweet, a post rather. Sorry. So somebody asked and said, why aren't people talking enough about? And someone replied and said, how 70 to 80-year-olds are generally regarded as unemployable due to mental decline and skill mismatch, yet they are exclusively ruling the country.
I'm telling you.
Let's leave it there.
Leave it there.
All right. Take a break. We have the catalyst with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
For me, I wanted to change that culture. I didn't believe that until you see a white man or you see a foreigner in the kitchen before you can believe that, good food is going to come out of that kitchen.
you can leverage on each other's spaces and, you know, sell. We believe in Nigeria, right? We believe that Nigeria can get better. We, the youth, are the ones that can make it better.
And my products are proudly made in Nigeria.
Made in Nigeria, showing every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. and repeats on Saturday at 8:30 a.m.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, why is emotional intelligence important? Having a high level of emotional intelligence allows you to empathize with others, communicate effectively, and be both self and socially aware. How we respond to ourselves and others impact our home and work environments. Many people believe that self-awareness is the most important part of emotional intelligence. Self-regulation, which is the ability to control emotions and impulses, is very important also, as people who self-regulate typically don't allow themselves to become too angry or jealous, and they don't make impulsive, careless decisions. So how true is this, and why is emotional intelligence relevant in our lives and for our growth today? That's our question. Now let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. I'll bring in Larry Olushula in a minute. But I wanted to hear your thoughts, Elsie. Why do you think emotional intelligence is good for us? You know, in terms
Why
of
did you
growth?
ask this?
Why did I ask Isi?
Okay. So
You know why I'm asking you? Let me tell you why I'm asking you.
why?
Okay, so I don't know whether it is you putting up a front.
Ha.
But wait now, I've studied you for a bit. And I noticed that even when things happen to you, you don't let it get to you. You're able to regulate and control a state of happiness. So that's why I'm asking you first.
Because this life is one, my dear. I cannot come and kill myself. But I think it's a deliberate attempt, especially when you understand that. Okay, for me, for the longest of time, I can't remember when, maybe over 10 years, my very dear to heart quote is, everything happens for a purpose, yeah. So I don't just react. Even when things are going on very smooth, I'm still wondering, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? What's going to happen? And then when it goes sideways, I think there is something else going to happen that will be bigger than where I was, right? And that's how it has always been. When I get into a certain situation, it could be tough, right? It could be very difficult at some points, but I've learned to know that I can and I should endure that process at that time. But I also think that being able to listen to and look at the lives of people that's you sort of emulate, not necessarily mentor, because I think that word mentor has really been over, you know, people that you just look up to and you like a certain area of their life, just pick those areas, pick from here and piece it together. And I remember before I invited this guest we're going to have now, I was on one of his platforms where we were having a conversation, and it was on this emotional intelligence. And one of his speakers, who we all know, defined wisdom, and he was trying to relate wisdom to emotional intelligence. And then he said, wisdom is about achieving purpose in an efficient way. So it's not about how you feel, it's about you being able to step out of yourself and think about the goal and the best strategy for you to get to that point. So for me, I think that's what it is. As long as I'm happy, and I am eating my food, I'll be fine.
You'll be all right.
I like food.
How about you, Isi?
Oh,
Emotional intelligence, you
For
know,
me-
how do you apply it in your own personal life?
in my own personal life, what I cannot change, I just leave it like that, basically. So I have learned not to be reactive, but to, observe before I deal with whatever I'm dealing with, basically. So it is not about me being aloof about it, but I'm learning to have self-control over it.
All right, so he's the founder, Chief Catalyst at the Lanre Olusola Academy, a mind, emotions, and behavioral change coaching academy working with individuals and organizations to transform lives by transforming minds. Lanre Olusola is renowned for his extensive array of works of coaching, publishing, and keynote speaking with individuals and organizations locally and internationally. He's renowned for pioneering the life coaching industry in Nigeria and creating the first wholly integrated coaching academy in West Africa. With over 2 decades of coaching experience, the Catalyst is a certified General Electric executive coaching master trainer and a GE regional Controval executive coaching faculty member. I am a name murderer, so I've accepted and owned it. And he's joined us live in studio. Thank you so much. Please, how do I pronounce that word?
Contriville. You did not even hear it.
I didn't hear it at all. But thank you so much. But it's the ability to laugh through your pain. That is emotional intelligence. I laugh through your flaws. Going on the streets in Nigeria is hell. You just see a lot of emotions all over the place, right? I've said that I don't know how God has done it for me, but I think over the years I have learned, I don't know how I learned it, but I know I've learned to be able to respond to situations. But I find that it is very difficult. A lot of people are actually very reactive. And this is causing us so much in terms of how far we can go, even as a nation, as individuals, So generally, right, just looking at us as Nigerians, how emotionally intelligent are we?
Well, I mean, if we looked at our environment and the fact that we live in a jungle, right, we should be experiencing more chaos. If we were not displaying some elements of emotional regulation and restraint. And so, I would say that, when it comes to some aspects of emotional intelligence, we score high. In some other areas, we score average. In some other areas, we score very low. Now, the stress that is the result of living in a jungle or an environment like this, right, is enough to create war and catastrophe.
In some other places.
In some other places. But we're not there. And so we need to ask ourselves, what is it that is restraining us? It is as a result of, emotional regulation. And where is this coming from? This is coming from our core beliefs. We're a very religious people. So one of the great things that the churches and the mosques and our religion has done,
like a regulator,
is regulate us. And we must celebrate the religious institutions for giving us that sanity, because people will think first. And emotional intelligence is really about, how you see things, how you feel, and how you see, feel, and think inspires or influences the decisions you make and the behaviors that come as a result of the decisions you make. And so if we are living amicably, at least in some quarters, most of the quarters, right, it means that there's something that is causing us to think twice, even though we do not feel right. There's something that is at the heart of our belief system, that is not prompting us to act like wild animals. So to that extent, there's quite a bit of restraint amongst us. However, is that enough? No. Because, there are three dimensions of existence. It's either you are living for survival, which many of us are doing. And so we're living sub-optimal lives. Or we're living, to thrive. Or we're living to succeed. There's a very few number of people that live for significance. So many of us are living just to survive. Why? Because that's the rule in the jungle. Survival. And so you would find out that, your plumber, your gateman, your cook is trying to shaft you.
All the time.
You will see a lot of that. Why? It's mindset. It's the mindset of survival. And so we need to begin to educate ourselves, where people need to be more self-aware. Who are you? What are you? Why are you here? And I liked, Elsie's perspective, because, she's trained herself, and that's the next level, right? You cannot not react, you will react. You cannot not respond, you would respond, because that is how you're wired. But what Elsie's done is Elsie's been trained to think about the situation and the context that she finds herself in. And the intelligent thing about, regulating her emotions is she has pre-programmed decisions that she will make, how she will see things. And by virtue of that, right, which is coming from her belief system, she makes the right decisions in that moment.
Yeah.
But for other people, right, what usually happens is when situations arise and provokes stress within them, their frontal cortex is shut down, their thinking faculty is shut down, and they switch to their amygdala, which is their rear cortex. And that puts you into fight, flight, and reaction mode. But because she has preloaded programs, and we're like computers.
Yes, actually.
Right? We're hardware, software, and programs. Because she has preloaded programs in her software that tells her that every situation has a purpose. And in every situation, right, you have the opportunity to learn and to grow
from it.
So what does she do? She steps back and switches to her frontal cortex and thinks about it. So what is the wisdom in this situation? What can I learn in this situation?
Even when things are going well. So it's not all the time that things need to
going
go bad.
negatively, yes. But the truth about being emotionally intelligent is that emotionally intelligent people know that it is through trials, tribulations, adversities, and challenges that you learn the most, that you grow the fastest, that you are presented with the greatest opportunities.
Absolutely.
However, if you allow yourself free rein for your amygdala to hijack you, you will never see opportunities, and you will never take those opportunities. And that is what being emotionally intelligent is.
I like the words you're using: emotional regulation, emotional restraint, living for survival. I mean, a lot of people understand the concept, or they understand the definition of emotional intelligence, but for a person who wants to give it a try, what would be that basic step they need to take?
So, if you want to know the 2 times table, or the 3 times table, or like EC teaches, if you want to know how to pronounce words, right, alphabets, and how to put alphabets together to form words, and how to put words together to form sentences, right, and how to effectively communicate, what do? You go to school to learn. Now, unfortunately, We think that it's only technical knowledge that we need. We do not realize that we are a spirit being with a soul living in an earth suit that exists in an environment, right? We do not recognize that we are software, hardware, and programs. So you are a product of your programming and your software. And so if your programming is outdated, if there's a virus in your software or your program,
I'm finished.
You're not functioning right.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of dysfunctional people walking around, right? Because even your phones, every 2 weeks or 3-4 weeks, right? It sends you a message that now it doesn't even tell you to update. It automatically updates. But it informs you that tonight I'm going to update it. Why do they do that? It is because they have identified kinks, viruses, and things that do not make the old, operating system or version function optimally. Now, when you drive your car, what do? You take it to the workshop for service, right? And to fix it. So when last did you service your emotions? When last did you service your soul? Because you are spirit, soul, body. We go to church and the mosques and we read our Bibles to service our spirit. We eat, we exercise, we go to school, right, to service our cognitive minds and our bodies. Where do we go to service the soul? Where is the school of the soul? What is the content of the curriculum? When last, right, were you aware of the dynamics of your soul? And the soul is the seat of your will, your intellect, and your emotion. Now, check this out. Within the environment that you find yourself in, right, you see things, you hear things, you feel things, you experience things. And your senses provoke, right, or release information into your internal dynamics, your mind, and you think. So your thoughts are the influences of your environment. Or your thoughts are influenced by your environment. Or your environment sow information into your mind to think thoughts, right? So environment influences thoughts. Thoughts influences beliefs. Beliefs influence emotions. Emotions influence decisions. Decisions influence actions. Actions produce your results. Now, at the heart of this model that I've just described, from environment sociology, right, to environment sociology, because your behaviors are, manifest in an environment, right? Between sociology to sociology, between environment to environment, right, you go through psychology and biology. So, your psychology, right, your neurology, your biology is influenced by your sociology. So if you do not understand the system of your psychology or neurology or biology, you're not going to be functioning optimally, because most of the things that you do is a function of your psychology, neurology, and biology. And also, biology influences the chemicals that rage inside you. We call them hormones, or biochemicals, or neurotransmitters, like adrenaline.
Energy too?
Yeah, like adrenaline, cortisol, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. So when you think, when a situation arises in your environment, it provokes a thought, right? And when you think negative, limiting, disempowering thoughts, it creates negative, limiting, disempowering beliefs. Now, a combination of those thoughts and those beliefs release biochemicals into your system, right? You can call it energy, you can call it neurotransmitters, right? So if it's something that provokes fear or anxiety, what begins to happen is you release adrenaline and cortisol and 30 other neurotransmitters. Now, the more cortisol you have in your body, right, the more toxicity you have in your system that depletes and reduces your immune system. We're beginning to talk about health.
Yes.
It depletes your bone mass because it reduces the amount of magnesium, potassium in your body. It begins to destroy your brain cells. It impairs your memory and your ability to learn and remember things. It destroys your brain cells.
Wow.
Now, your environment sociology is beginning to affect psychology that begins to affect biology. Emotion can be deadly.
Jesus.
And so the consequences are serious. And that's why being emotionally intelligent is very important. There are loads of people. Now, let's bring it back home. COVID, right? The COVID pandemic, you know, different researchers have gone out, and I'll quote the one from McKinsey & Co. They did a research and realized that between 27% to 34% of people, right, were both depressed and anxious as a result of COVID. Another 40% of people were anxious but not depressed, right? Another 20-something% were depressed but not anxious. Now, COVID is creating emotions: depression, anxiety, worry. Now, the result of that is that a lot of people in the last 2 years have been pumping unbelievable amount of adrenaline and cortisol into their bodies, right? And, you know, the results have played it out. People start to put on weight. It is also a trigger for diabetes because, you know, your body does not utilize glucose the way it's supposed to utilize. You begin to accumulate fat. So you find out that no matter what you're doing, you've been putting on weight in the last 2 months around your midriff, your cortisol glands, and you're wondering what is going on. The more you allow this, the more you do not develop emotional intelligence, which speaks to emotional awareness, right? Emotional regulation, patience, emotional mastery, relationship mastery, because at the end of the day, right, it's people you take it out on.
Yeah.
Hi, you know what? Let's just run out and come back because there's so many things that are speaking to me. But I'm just quiet here. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity, from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the results of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, Abi.
I am not hungry. If I need appointment, all I need to do is to start praising government.
Plus, politics will fill the polls of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows, to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let anybody come and say. The moment we stop having charlatans occupy political offices, we will curtail hate speech.
Plus Politics, not just another political show. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, we're having an amazing chat with Larry Olushola, the catalyst himself, on emotional intelligence as a requirement for growth. You can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-823-4663. As you can see, I'm talking very calmly today.
Let's see what happened.
I don't know what happened, but you know, because we've run out of time.
In case
But
you
we
did
think
not
we
hear
have
the
time, but we
number
don't
is
have
on the
time.
screen. Because I don't
In case you
understand.
didn't hear, the number is on the screen. Everything that you explained, I think I've been through all those emotions between February 2020 up until now, mid-waist area gain. Then I started having a lot of, in fact, I'm running an online program, and it's like everything I'm reading is not entering my head.
Hey.
I'm trying, in fact, I've told them that it's like I need to take I actually took a break in December, resumed again in March, but it is not entering my head. I'm just not interested. in anything right now, because it seems like everything is just too many things happening to me. So I'm asking now, emotional intelligence. So how do we, because I know that I'm not alone in this space. A lot of people are watching and they're probably going through the same emotion that I am going through. What would be a right place to start? I think it was Elsie that asked that question or something. What would be the right place to start? Because really we're running out of time. I know definitely there are programs that you offer, right? So how do we even start and where do we start from?
All right, so I'm going to give a few tips, right? Because, you know, we're biochemical beings, and if you've released cortisol and adrenaline, and if you have a high level of it in your body, you need to neutralize it. And what do you need to do? You need to boost your dose of dose. What does that mean? You need a certain dose of dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins in your body. They are like solvents that neutralize the negative or deadly effect of, you know, the negative toxic biochemicals. And, you know, there are 50 things you can do, but because of time, I'm just going to share a few. Number one is you eat foods that are rich in tyrosine. Avocados, bananas, fish, almonds, right, on a weekly basis, number one. Number two is you eat foods that are rich in protein. Three is, you know, food supplements, because, you know, a lot of the foods that we eat are not organic. So we miss out a lot of nutrients. So you need, you know, supplements, vitamin A, B, C, D. Very, very important. E, right? But most important is D and B complex. Okay. Right? Now you can get D every morning because, you know, early morning walk, very, very important. The outdoors is very important because a lot of us are sitting indoors on Zoom most of the day, right? And working virtually. So that early morning sun is very, very important. But what that also does for you is exercise. Exercise is very, 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 very key.
I stopped exercising, that's why.
Oh no, you have to, you have to give expression to it. You have to release a lot of, you know, those biochemicals that you're producing. You have to sweat. You know, physical touch, especially with your loved ones at home. You must hug a lot.
I think she does that.
You must hug a lot, right? Also, you know, take yourself out sometime. Go out with loved ones sometimes, you know. We're still trying to observe, you know, the protocols, but, you know, go out to have a good meal sometimes. Take yourself out for a treat sometimes. Another thing is eat spicy foods. Yeah, spicy foods is very, very, very key. A glass of wine once in a while, red wine, is also very, very good for you. So if you do a few of those things, right, dance, laugh, comedy is very, very important. You know, so if you do a few of those, right?
Okay. Yeah. I was going to ask the question based on the concept of, it is said that authentic leadership doesn't actually, it actually begins with self-awareness, okay? If authentic leadership actually begins with self-awareness, let's look at the concept of leadership and emotional intelligence. Where do you think our leaders are with emotional intelligence?
Which leader?
I knew she was going to go there.
Which leader?
Which leader?
Our Nigerian leader.
Our Nigerian leaders.
Do we really want to go?
Yeah, we have to go there.
An insight. What's your take on that?
I mean, I think we have a few that get it. Most don't get it, you know, because emotional intelligence is about selflessness. Emotional intelligence is about positively impacting other people's lives, right? Emotional intelligence is about knowing what you do or what you don't do and how it affects other people, right? I mean, I guess your guess is as good as mine, yeah? You know, most of our leaders, you know,
not emotionally intelligent.
They do what they want to do for what they can take out of it. You know, when you go into leadership, it's to serve. You know, and there's a concept of servant leadership, love leadership, impact leadership. That's the future of leadership. The future of leadership is not about you. It's not about the position. It's about the lives that you can impact. It's about lives you can transform. It's about the people you can elevate their status.
Absolutely.
You know, so if we looked at that, right, how many of our leaders really, even within the private sector, are doing that? You know, there's a lot of leadership by oppression. There's a lot of leadership by fear. But unknown to them, right, they are creating toxic atmospheres that reduce the productivity and the performance of their people. By virtue of that, reduce your profitability. So organizations across the world, right, are putting in place programs that empower leaders, that develop emotional intelligence in leaders, not because of just them, because at the end of the day, it profits the organization. And how does it profit the organization? Right, let's look at it. A home where there is toxicity, negativity, stress, there'll be too much problems in there. So there will be sub-production, underproduction, non-performance. And at the end of the day, right, let's look around us. A lot of organizations are complaining that there's a lot of brain drain now.
Yes.
From the top organizations to the small, across industries. They say now that Canada is the capital of Nigeria. Nigerians are the best of our people. And why are they leaving? Because they cannot hack it with the leaders that they have. 1, 2, they cannot hack it with the way the organizations are being run. The culture of the organization does not align with the values, and you know, and then the state of the nation.
Well, sorry, Larry, let me quickly because you mentioned something very key, and I think this is the biggest problem that I am seeing happening a lot. Because the closest people to you are the people that hurt you the most. We have a lot of dysfunctional families where it's consistently a repeated, you know, system happening, almost like programmed on autopilot to put stress in people within the family, either from parents to children or spouses or maybe siblings and all of that. So how do you manage to maintain emotional intelligence when you are constantly within that space where it's permanently toxic for you?
I mean, you know, you have to determine what you want and what you don't want. I say to people, never complain about what you permit. So you have the right to determine the construct in your family. And every one of us has a responsibility to create our own family and put in place our own family constitution. So what is your family vision? And what is your family constitution? And what are the values and the beliefs and the culture within your family? So if you can decide that in my own family, I am ending this cycle or this culture of madness. And then from your own, you start to build it right. And so we should stop complaining about what we permit. You know, who says you cannot cut members of your family off if they're, you know.
Who said?
Yeah, so wake up to the reality and say to yourself.
You can do it.
No, at some point, right? Look, we call it the principle of leverage, pain and pleasure.
True.
Right? When you want children to behave, you encourage them with
pleasure.
When they keep doing bad things, what do? You punish them. And there are children in each and every one of us adults.
Yes.
Look, if you put your foot down, these badly behaved people, they will conform. where they will conform. Do you know we're the ones aiding them?
True.
We're the ones. You know, we also have a pseudo-God complex. You want them to always come to you to get from you. You know, we have to change for things to change.
True.
And you have to determine what kind of family you want to, you know, live in.
I'm not sure there's enough time for my question for him to respond, but I'll still ask anyway. I was listening to or watching one of your interviews from months back, and you were talking about the rate of divorce and how it goes higher from second to third marriages here. And I just wanted to ask, what is the role of emotional intelligence in this increase of divorce?
I mean, gosh, man.
It's everything.
It's everything. Because you see, how you think, how you feel, you know, how you see things, right? The things you believe, and the decisions that you make are very, very key in your interpersonal, intimate relationship as well. And you know, you permit a lot of things with people on the outside. You're more short-fused with the people that are close to you. You know, and the reason why is because they are like your mirrors. They reflect you back to you. So you're actually reacting to yourself. And so if you want to build a happy, intimate relationship and marriage, emotional intelligence is very, very key.
Okay, so I had one final question for you, so because we've run out of time. If you had one thing you truly wished for to see as regards emotional intelligence and growth for the nation, what would that be? What would that be, that one wish that if it happened, it would make you the happiest man on earth?
We have to change our beliefs as a people, as a nation, you know. Why is America, you know, seemingly, you know, one of the great America, the American dream? They believe in America. If you ask any Nigeria about
What's
Nigeria,
the Nigerian dream?
No, not the dream. Just ask them about Nigeria. Negativity. Look, our bellies are filled with the fruit of our lips. There's the power of life and death in our tongue. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So we're speaking our beliefs about Nigeria. Nigeria is not good. Nigeria is this. Nigeria, for as long as we continue to utter those things, we are going to continue to experience what we prophesy.
So it means that you're not going to Japa?
I'm not going anywhere. I have an assignment
Absolutely.
Here. Yeah.
Do you think the people that are leaving are cowards, or you think?
No, I don't think so. You know, people have to do what they have to do. Some people have to leave. Some people have to stay. And we're not all wired the same way, and we all have different assignments. So it's not being cowardly, you know. We don't know what God has said to anybody.
Absolutely.
You know, each and every one of us have to go back to our Maker and ask what our purpose is.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. The Catalyst.
Thank you.
I hope you come back again. I hope you had fun with us.
Yes,
thank you, Isi. Thank you, Elsie. Had an amazing conversation. All right, before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram. It's at PlusTvAfrica. You can drop your comment and interact with us further. We're planning a huge giveaway to say thank you to you for believing in the Waze brand and following the conversation. So we'll be 2 in December, so we're planning a giveaway. So follow us now at PlusTvAfrica. Like, share, and invite all your friends and family as well to watch us. So if you missed today's Core Charities again, we cannot tell what may happen to us in the strange medley of life, but we can decide what happens in us, how we can take it and what we do with it, and that is what really counts in the end. I think this is a fantastic quote. We'll see you again tomorrow as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.
Bye.